Only 4 teams have had a better start after 14 games than Arsenal have managed this time around. They're on course, if they continue at their current rate, to get 100 points. That would have won it in every season, apart from the one in which Manchester City managed to get 100 points. So, look, everybody who's been in this position has gone on to win the league. Can Arsenal?
What a question. Well, I've seen the...
I didn't ask you, will Arsenal? I could have been
impossible
crueler.
made possible when Leicester did what they did a few years ago. And if Leicester can win the Premier League, why can't Arsenal? I mean, anything is still possible. Man City are my favourites. I still think they'll win it because of the qualities that they have. But for Arsenal to be in this position, when every judge, I don't think anybody would have put them even in the top 4. I look at it and they're 14 points ahead of Manchester United right now, who are in 5th place. That in itself is an achievement. So they're pretty much, and they can't really, I mean, it'd be amazing if they could throw away, not get into the Champions League. That would have been his objective at the start of the year. Can we take that next step, get into the top 4? But right now, they've got themselves in such a position where they've got to believe. Their squad is, we use the term bare bones. There's not many. If they get a couple of injuries to key players, it's going to be really tough. And they might need to add in January with the right kind of player. If they can do that and keep players fit, anything is possible because they're playing with so much energy and they're a joy to watch right now.
I think that's the only thing, the thinness of the squad. And in his interviews, he keeps referring, we keep playing every 3 days. We keep playing every 3 days. And he's come out and saying, oh, I'm light. And that's when you'll know better than anyone, being a manager, is that when you do interviews, it's not just for people like us and the fans, it's for the owners, it's for the players. It's messages to say, hey, we're top of the table right now. Keep adding to me in January. We won't be thin. We can really kick on. We're in a great opportunity. And bringing a new sign in as well is freshness. It's to the squad. It shows that we're going for it. And he's got messages in there, having a dig to the top people saying, this is the only thing that might be our Achilles heel.
Yeah, I think if they can help him in January with giving him some kind of strength in depth, that still doesn't guarantee that they're going to win it, but it will give them a better chance. I think especially how they are playing, you were spot on, Jamie. They were going at the beginning of the season for a top 4 spot, and we all were like, I don't know if he's going to get that. But the way that they're going now, the way that they are playing, the way that they are winning matches, we all like watching them. He has got them playing in a certain way, really good football and organized and not getting a lot of goals against. And I've never really seen an Arsenal team work so hard off the ball when they lose the ball. They react so well when they lose the ball. Their counter press is so good. They win the ball back and then they keep it. And at the moment they are the real deal. Can they maintain it? That is.
I think as well in January, Jim, and I think we all agree they need to thicken up the squad. It still has to be the right type.
Yeah, of course.
Because that's something that I think has really come across in watching the documentary that Arsenal are involved with, that he wants good types around him that are going to work, that are going to buy into that work ethic, team ethic that he has. The players that he brought in, Zinchenko, Jesus has been great, bringing Salah in's been a masterstroke, obviously bringing him back. There are so many positives in that squad. And what you don't want to do is add a problem, if you like. You just want to keep everything ticking over. If they go out of Europe, it's not the end of the world. Even going out of the Cup this week, the least amount of games is obviously better for
me,
them.
that was an error.
This week?
Yeah, for me that was an error of
time will tell on that, I guess.
Well,
you always want to win every trophy.
You cannot say, I'm just going to go for the Premier League.
But right now, would you not? But right now, Jim, where the position they're in?
You want to be in every competition. Doesn't matter.
But if you've not got a big squad, that's what we're saying. He's already saying about every 3-4 games.
But I think that will make his argument with the board even better, because he is in so many competitions. Guys, do you want me to compete in all these competitions? Give me more strength in that. He's out of it now. That might give them, maybe an answer for that he doesn't want to hear. They don't have to really invest as much in January. You want to be in every competition.
They brought in, as we said, Zinchenko and Jesus, both title winners at Manchester City, both Premier League title winners. They do have other title winners elsewhere in Europe in the squad and elsewhere in the world in the squad, but they haven't done it as a unit. How important was it they reacted to the opportunity to go 5 points clear with Manchester City dropping points in the lunchtime kickoff, that they go into this break having taken that chance?
Well, I think Jamie mentioned it earlier at half-time. I'm sure he would have went in and went, what are you doing? Up your tempo, move it quicker, get down the sides more, because it was slow, it was lethargic. And I know they've come out and said they've had a few sickness and stuff like that, but you'd be kicking yourself if you seen earlier on that your rivals, in essence, have dropped points and you came and you were lethargic. You know, apply yourself, because when they did and they shifted the tempo, they went 1v1 and had a go, they got the result. But we've all mentioned characters, and there will be a point within the season that Arsenal might have a blip. That's why the characters are so important, because they have to be resilient and bounce back and go again. And we don't know what the World Cup is going to do to that, but they've got to find that momentum. And if they do have that blip, they've got to have the characters to dig them out if they're going to go on and win the title.
Yeah,
Today must have been the most difficult round of games that these players have ever had in their lives, because knowing that if you get an injury, you might miss out on the World Cup. What's at stake? You want to win. You know, for Arsenal in that first half, one or two players looked like they probably weren't quite at it. You look at Man City's result, players, you know, thinking, well, if I get an injury here, am I going to actually play at 100%? Although subconsciously you want to, but you just don't know what this is doing to the players, because no one wants to miss out on the World Cup and they've got a few days to prepare.
Do you think it's worse for Arteta, though, having to
It must be hard for the managers, that's what I mean.
That,
yeah, because you want to keep everyone at it, but you also know that there's so much at stake for these players if they were to pick up an injury. Thankfully, it looks like everyone, I know James Maddison has spoken after and everyone's going to come through this, but for the manager, it must have been, because especially if you think they're not quite at it, like you said, it must be hard how you sort of manage that one. And he'll just be delighted, because every team today, it was a banana skin for every single team. And that's why it was such an important moment for them to get those 3 points. And what Man City did is just giving them a little lift. You know, they're going to come back after. They've got some great games. They've got Tottenham very quickly after the break. So Mikel Arteta will be sending a few away on holiday, keeping them fresh and just hoping and praying the other ones come back nice and fit.